see how you manage with this
Because there might
first
be, being that it's only 2 days
2018,
in,
Shadow of the Tomb
there
Raider
might be a
released
lot
after
of
years
work
of
to
waiting.
do at
But
home.
did
You
you
know,
know
there
that
might be a lot
developers
of reading to
accidentally
do.
included
then
the
you will have your
wrong
one of the
ending?
out-
At the end of the
work
story, you can
experience.
find a
So it
post-credit
is.
scene
So it
that
is
teased the
true.
next game referencing a character named
Oh,
Nut.
yeah, one
This
day
was
what
such a
was friends
bombshell that
yeah.
people spent
Yeah.
hours arguing with each
Yeah,
other,
no,
some
like,
calling
I'm
it
looking
fake
forward to
or
it,
an
'cause I
elaborate
actually
prank,
really
but
enjoyed
no,
the work
this was
experience I
actually
did
real.
before in,
The developers
Childcare
secretly
Place.
changed the ending
And I'm
and thought
hoping
nobody
that,
would notice.
see,
And
everywhere
that's not
else
the
they
only secret
removed
devs
the
left
special
in. If
needs
you've ever
from
played
the
a Mario
childcare,
game, you're probably
but
used to seeing
online
this.
they
But
said that
did you
this
know
is
that Super
childcare with
Mario
special
Bros.
needs. So I'm really
secretly has a
hoping it's
level
with
called
special needs,
World Minus
because then
1? There's a
I'll
crazy
do
glitch
some more
about the
experience with
original
Crash,
levels
but
that
I'd
allow
also like
players
to
to
do
trap
some
themselves
special
in a
needs
pipe.
ones.
Eventually,
Because I want to
the
work with
super
kids with
world was
disabilities
impossible to
mainly,
leave. You'd
yeah.
have to reset your
That's the
progress
kind
or
of goal,
force a
because I
game
love
over
working
screen
with
just to
kids.
escape.
Yeah.
Another secret that
Such
went
a sense of
completely unnoticed was hidden
satisfaction.
inside Watch Dogs
I
Legion.
can
While exploring the map, you could hack into some
Yeah.
security cameras that reveal an underground nightclub. It's a party
Yeah,
hosted by
no, it
Default,
is.
a character from the
You know, it
first
just-
game.
that was
There
just
seemed to be no way to get inside, and most thought it was just an
Yeah.
Easter egg and moved on. And some people looked
it.
further. Well, it turns out
I
there
was
were
reading in my
posters
spare
on the wall.
time,
It's a
like my
secret
reading,
QR code.
like that
For those
book over
scanning
there
on
is
their
about
phones, they
teaching
would
the
see a
orange
message
one.
that says,
Yeah.
"Find my
Teaching
private
kids
party
with
at
Down
2 a.m."
syndrome,
You
like,
would then need to
that's
find
what
the
I've been
secret
reading
entrance to
about
the
in my
building,
spare
which is in
time
the
is
river. At this
about,
point,
like,
wait until
you know,
exactly 2
and
a.m. and
another
you'll
one
be
on
allowed
child
in.
development.
Finding the secret room will unlock the default maps.
Yeah,
Now, some secrets are more disturbing than others. For years,
Yeah,
the developers of World of
Dragon's
Warcraft
Law.
stayed silent
Yeah.
about one of the
Really
game's most
interesting.
unsettling locations.
I have
In
copies.
Karazhan, players began to notice a locked-off area underneath the
want one of these
cemetery of
ones, or what?
Morgan's
I'll
Plot.
take them.
It started off as a rumor, but as more players glitched inside of this place, it turned into World of Warcraft's most chilling mystery. It was this deep and dark crypt filled with rooms like the Well of the
Yeah, I got it for
Forgotten. If you're
Christmas.
brave
I was
enough to
like,
jump into the
they're
well, you
more,
land
they
in the
cost
pit of
more than
criminals.
they're
A
worth.
huge pile of
Yeah,
bones
like,
and
yeah.
catacombs and creepy
That's
bastards.
nice
from
By
Milwaukee,
far, the
yeah.
most
Yeah,
disturbing room in this
nice.
crypt is called the Upside Down Sinners. It has
Oh, you have
bodies
from the
attached to
dungeon as
chains
well?
floating
Yeah.
upwards
Yeah, we
towards
have
the
one, 'cause
surface.
you have
This
to
crypt has been here for
spec them
decades, and the
for your
developers
copy.
don't
We
let
have
anyone
two.
getting
One is for
inside.
fine
For years,
copy
Blizzard
for
has been
the
begging
copy,
players to
and then
find
one is
new
for
ways to
forced
glitch through
copy
the
if you want to
game.
do,
There are
like,
many
a pour
rumors as to
over.
why it was
So
locked.
don't keep
Leading to
copying
it,
set
to simply
like-
being an unfinished
Yeah.
quest line, but for now, this is an unsolved mystery. I don't think anyone expected to find this giant sandwich in Halo Infinite. In the game's open world, you can head to a place on the map named Connections, although when you get there, it's pretty hard to find. For determined players, they realize that this game has more to it than you first think. If you use a grapple, you can go into the base and get through a hole in the ceiling. Inside is this giant sandwich with grunts worshiping it, and it even plays 8-bit Halo music.
30 scrolls, 40 scrolls, and got hands up. I'll put my hands up. Oh yeah, turn on it, and then I'm like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna put something together, and you're gonna drink that shit.
An incredible secret room. After beating the entire game, you can start again in challenge
Yeah, no,
mode
you've
until
never
you
made that
find a
many
teleporter that
copies.
promises to take
fucking
you
you
to
how many
the
copies a
Insomniac
day you
Museum.
have to
For the
most
MPF
of them
first,
around
you can unlock gold bolts
Yeah.
and
As long as
expand
they're
the
coming
museum.
through.
Eventually,
Like,
some tons
twice-
of references to
three
old
times
games,
when-
work by the
Yeah,
developers, and a
yeah.
lot more. There's been an Insomniac Museum hidden in almost every Ratchet & Clank game, and this was no exception. One of the coolest video game discoveries in history can be found in Halo 2. Bungie included a secret weapon throughout the game nicknamed the Scarab Gun. There are some super complicated methods to get this thing. I mean, it's a miracle anyone actually found it. For those who did, they now have their hands on the most powerful weapon in the entire Halo franchise. It has a limited reload and never overheats, not to mention you could dual wield them. The only problem is that the gun is so powerful that it can without damaging yourself. Accidentally leaving the secret locations that include every single item in the entire game. They were designed for testing and help developers get anything they wanted, but obviously they were supposed to be removed and weren't. Even after players found this overpowered Skyrim room, Bethesda still made the same mistake again, leaving another developer area in Fallout 4. One of the creepiest Easter eggs on this list can be spotted in Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. If you use a free cam, you can glitch inside of the animatronics models and see details like their endoskeletons. Except, she says use this knowledge to peek inside of the Golden Monty statue in the mall. What he found is super creepy. There's a skull in the statue's head, and it's not even in the regular animatronic. Is this an Easter egg or unfinished content? But it gets even creepier, because in the game, data miners were able to find tons of unused models that paint a sinister picture. For example, there's a frozen is an endoskeleton with files that is fully rigged and animated.
You can make it like mad
the
with the home machine
developers are ready for it to be more than just an Easter egg.
egg.
There are also other models such as a magician bot, alien robot, and even a mime. And in Mass Effect 3, a developer put a small Easter egg into the game only for nobody to find it for 10 years. So eventually he got tired of waiting and went to Reddit to reveal the secret. He drew out a diagram of where to go and how to unlock the secret Easter egg. Players who followed his instructions were finally able to see this rover. Very small, but it breaks my heart to know how many secrets are out there like this that nobody knows about. Over in Fallout 3, there's a secret NPC in Megaton that players were never supposed to find. At the entrance to the town, there's a man on a ledge, but it's impossible to get up here. While most people would assume this man is just a background character, you could use hacks to get up here and actually talk to him. His name is supposedly Stockholm, except in the official guide to the game, the developers call him Solomon. To make things even weirder, if you talk to him, he will ask you how you got up there in the first place. And Valve has a similar sense of humor. In the original Half-Life, players who went into NoClip discovered a ridiculous secret. There's an empty square room floating underneath the map, and the wallpaper is just hundreds of pictures of Gabe Newell. Over in Doom 64, players are able to find a piece of text which exposed an amazing prank by the developers. For sections of the game where there were no textures, the artist included a message that said, "I suck at making maps." It was designed to get the attention of playtesters, so they'd have to fix it. Well, it turns out this one wasn't fixed, and you can find a few of these around Doom 64 to this day. There's a secret that 99% of players in this can be spotted in Halo 3. If you somehow manage to flip over one of the most stable vehicles in the entire game, the developers, they got some questions for you. Mostly, how'd you do it? Although I'm pretty intrigued by the mystery of Zelda's Chris Houlihan. In A Link to the Past, some players were able to find a secret room which was super hard to get to. Not only were they rewarded with 45 blue rupees, but you could read a message that said, "My name is Chris Houlihan, this is my top secret room." At first, absolutely nobody knew who Chris was, but it was rumored that he won a Nintendo Power Contest in 1990, with the prize being a cameo in a future NES game. Although the winner of the contest was technically never publicly announced, and Chris Houlihan has never actually been found. So is he a real person? That mystery remains unsolved. One of my favorite secrets that players weren't supposed to find is in Jade Empire. Inside this game, there's a mechanic that lets you gamble your earnings. And for players who want to rig the system, they use an age-old method. Just leave the game before it saves, and you'll never lose, except when you do it in Jade Empire, the developers are one step ahead of you.
I do sometimes, like, I'm just looking alright for an hour.
In Wave Race Blue Storm, an old jet ski game from 2001, players dug into the files and found a hilarious secret. There was going to be an announcer that just roasted you all the time, but the developers cut it right before the game's release. Well, they didn't stop leakers from finding his audio files, although it took them almost a decade to do so. And this next secret is probably one of the most incredible discoveries in gaming. Last year, one of the developers behind Homefront: The Revolution confessed that he included a full version of the game Time Splitters 2 in the files. It's in native 4K and one of the only PC ports out there. Now, this originally came out in 2002, and fans have been waiting for a remaster for decades, and it turns out there was one sitting here the whole time. So why did it take so long for people to find it? Well, the developer who put it in the files forgot the password to unlock the game. It took a team of hackers just a few days to reverse engineer the code, and they were able to finally free this 5-year-old Easter egg. One of the weirdest secrets out there can be found in Marvel vs. Street Fighter. After becoming incredibly popular with Western audiences, some modders decided to go in the game's ROM files and discovered something interesting. There's a character named Nora who looked like a nerdy student and slightly resembled the art style of a comedian named Noritaki Kanashi. This puzzled a lot of people, but all you had to do was take a flight to Japan if you wanted an explanation. In the original Japanese version of the game, Norimaru is a playable character, and even voiced by the comedian who designed it. It's a mystery as to why this character is only in Japan, but it definitely confused a lot of Western hackers, that's for sure. If you guys enjoyed this, Tommy, keep it here on T5G.
In fact, I think we got it again the second time we bought that one. It was only 70.
I think it was.
From our
And it's just as good as that.
Yeah, and this is like 300.
There you go.
Yeah, well, I was just like,
Yeah, she just likes it.
That's the thing, that obviously if you have like 7% for it, no.
No.
You have this And you put the filter one in it, then you take that out.
Yeah, I know what you mean, 'cause I'd have that like a coffee shop. You put like a tablet in.
Yeah.
And then, no, wait, actually, I don't bother doing that at home. I just wash it and then sometimes I like wash it there. Like,
That's fair enough.
does the job. Does the job well enough.
Coffee machine.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much like standard for big machines. There's no sugar around in that.
Yeah, we have
Yeah, there's caramel. They're pretty nice. There's not a lot in that one. It's a really nice one.
yeah. I'd go with only like a teaspoon or something.
Yeah.
Strong, is it?
Yeah, it's nice strong. Yeah, try it at like a teaspoon and see. how
Yeah,
you
see
feel.
how much you like, because they are strong. Like.
And that's how we got here.
So what do you do that at home with candy? Stronger candy?
Yeah, that's it.
You serious?
Mr.
Aye,
Dunn,
whether you
I'm
like
sorry,
it,
but
so-
I think
Yeah,
you have
that's
no
it.
idea
Two
what
teaspoons
you're
maybe in
doing.
Yeah.
And what do you mean?
Yeah, because say like when we have coffee, you wouldn't put sugar in coffee.
Yeah,
You know,
So we can go back to the place we came
So
from.
Sammy, I heard that.
Are you waiting for something to happen?
Sir,
It's nice
would
making
you
those
mind?
coffees at home, isn't it? Yeah, it is nice.
Yeah, that's a keep enough on. That's just the slump.
Okay, that's enough. You should probably go.
Yeah.
Buy them like a big
Or
bag.
like a kilo bag. Yes, there's more.
Yeah, exactly. It is really nice. Try that tea, Andrew, is that? Yeah, coffee. Yeah, you kind of got two drinks and like two versus hot and everything. That's the same extent anyway.
You know
I almost got a Kinder Bueno or something. I'm not overly hungry, like. I'm more just wanting like sugar. Like, more than anything. Oh dear! Oh god. So am I trying to Kinder Bueno?
Sorry?
Kinder Bueno? Do you like the white ones or do you like the regular ones more? Do you have anything to run on, Andrew?
No, yeah.
Bye.
Come on. That's fine. I will fix it.
Can we have a conversation? May I ask, how much do you know about Mr. Dom? To be honest, I have to say he is definitely hiding something. I want to ask him.
I only know about that rabbit. He is the one who killed our friends.
Oh dear, I'm so sorry for your friends.
That's okay. We made a deal with Shadow Guy to give us back their energy sources, so they should be alive right now.
Shadow Guy? Who's Shadow Guy?
I don't know much either, but I think he might be the only person who could destroy that rabbit, or Mr. Don.
Oh no, I don't want him to be destroyed. I mean, indeed, he is acting suspicious, but I think he is a nice person. Only if he could explain more about the whole situation. Oh my, I hope GB is okay.
Okay, I think that's gonna work. Let's try.
That's it. Oh, yes. Glitch, glitch. That's a speaker. Yeah. Yeah, we just put like just YouTube music and stuff like that on it. Yeah, it actually is like the sound of it is really nice.
I can't put the guitar.
No. Yeah, just a speaker like it is that Marshall brand like, which is like amps and stuff like that like. But yeah, no, that's yeah, I know. It's really cool looking like, just for like plastic looking.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got that in the aquarium. You know, it's inside the fish are really small, and then you put the water in and they expand. Yeah.
For doing such a splendid.
How's your video going, Kim?
Good.
Is that an adventure duck time?
Adventure duck.
Adventure duck, the armadillo army. A joke.
Water be warm in a few minutes. I have a show.
The water's warm now.
Is it?
Yeah. We always have the immersion on, like, you know, during the night time. So there's always hot water.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, I think that's gonna work. Let's try.
That's the best way to
Yeah, exactly. So you're never waiting on it, like. And then also it's cheaper to heat it during the night as well.
Amogus. I asked your friend, what shall I do? Alright, bud.
Yeah.
You good, man? Did you enjoy your walk?
I swear I'm doing
He
my
loves just
best.
getting his walks over and doing it. Yeah. It's that kind of way, like, he's always like, okay, I hope this won't be a long walk. But then you see him on the walks, like, he really enjoys it, he has a good time, like. Then you see it's good when he's like, no, he enjoys it, he's bouncing around and he's happy, like. But it's not just get tired, because it is a longer walk, like.
Such a
in fairness.
splendid job.
Yeah, exactly, he's still a kid, like.
Sure, you've not heard.
Yeah, exactly, that's it.
So take it out, you're like, oh, it is nice. That was
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Well, everything's fine.
Yeah, no, I'm glad that we got to get out, because I was like, oh my god, is it just going to be lashing the whole time here? Thank god it's not, like.
Yeah, made the most of it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, as long as it's dry, like, it's fine. Like, you'd get out and do whatever. Like, yeah, things don't look as nice as they do in the sun, but you still get out and do it, like. Yeah, Shauna saying she's not going to be able to come over. She's supposed to get my money. No, she's supposed to get her money from college today, but they haven't confirmed it. So she sent me, like, her, you know, her screenshot of it. And it's still awaiting confirmation. She should have gotten it today.
Come on, guys, it's just
What
a
did she
game.
say?
Who are you?
Yeah, uni haven't confirmed my registration. It's doing
I'm
finance, so
Glamrock
it's going to
Babe.
take another week.
I'm a
Of course,
delivery.
that's right. We didn't have any money. So
And
it's
I have a
70k.
question.
That's all she has.
Who ordered
Yeah.
this giant box?
Oh, that
I'm not surprised. She kind of seemed to be like,
It's just.
and it's really bad for her because she really wanted to get
like
out of
you
the
would
house
deliver
as
it.
well. She wanted to get away
I
from
mean,
Neil's
I've
family and
never
stuff.
heard of you.
I'm a member of the rejected Glamrock animatronics.
You mean Bonnie, Ballora?
Yep.
I'm sorry, but still I don't remember you being a part
No,
of
you
them.
used to. Every now and
Well,
then she'd be on the phone to me.
I'm a rejected design from the rejected Glamrocks.
I haven't even said hello to him.
Oh,
Something. I don't know. I think that fella's like.
that's so sad.
But they're changing a bit. He was the nice guy at the start. He's a bit of a wanker.
Well, me and I don't really know. We
Life
only
goes
met
on.
a bit when they stayed in Manda's house before.
Well, you know, if you want, you
Went out to
can
the UK.
stay
But
here
Buffy and
for a
Andrew
while.
have really weird
Since
vibes.
this place
I
is
think
so
it's
big
not
and
coming from
already has
anywhere necessarily, but he just
I
has weird
think it will be
vibes.
fun.
Really? That's awesome! Hey guys, what's up? Do you know
Yeah.
you can handle a Rubik's Cube in 3 seconds?
And then he was saying, you know, stuff like
You know what's on? Your wig! Just kidding, that actually looks really good on you. My, what a cool hairdo, girl! Who's your stylist? Hook me up! And And nice to meet you, Miss...
3 days on, 3 days on.
Mommy.
That'd be cool.
Mommy.
That'd be really cool.
40 hours at 30 and
May
15
I
hours.
ask, what are you?
Good, yeah.
Stop.
Mommy.
So
430.
I know.
430. If you're doing 40 hours at 13, you're doing 430.
Spider?
Maybe more.
Maybe, I thought like, because you're talking about the 10 for 40 hours, and then 3.
10 hours will be
Oh wait, 3 also. Yeah, so I was actually counting that wrong.
be more than that, would it?
Yeah, it would be more than that. How much would it be?
Well, 10 hours is 135.
Hey, little one.
Yeah.
That's
What's your name?
An hour.
Yeah.
Aww,
So, 4 times
so
100.
cute.
I'm just gonna get a calculator. 'Cause my, like,
You
I'm
thinking
Brian.
what I'm thinking?
But that's great. It's in Palo
520.
520, so that's not much that much less than what you're used to. And then you have it like, you know, your 4 days, 4 days in, 3 days out, and then backwards. Like, to me, that's well worth 80 quid in a job.
You don't need, you don't need any experience to train you there.
Yeah.
And it'd be like picking, packing, stuff like that.
Amorous.
You'd be
So I was working in the warehouse in fucking.
Yes, well, so it's not going to be much of a difference, like, but you'll actually have a much more free time for yourself. And then
30 and 50.
All right, Aggie.
40.
What if I tell you you're going to forget about all those sad origins if you touch this orb?
My screen's acting.
yeah, you
I
were
know it
saying.
doesn't make sense, but trust me,
540,
friends are gonna have a lot
and
of
like, it
fun.
wouldn't
I have
even
3
really.
days off, and if I
Say.
got bleeding
And nicks are here and there.
few
The choice
nicks, I
is
could do
yours.
them all in the one day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Time to
I
think
do them
about
all in the one day.
So you're probably
I get
working
it.
out with more money and more
More
spare time. Yeah. Yeah, so I definitely try to finish off that application, like, and,
Yeah.
and go for that.
Yeah,
That'd be
I have to let my
fantastic.
phone charged, that's what happened. But it died on the process of it, like.
Ah,
But, like, that doesn't. Amazon's supposed to be the classic.
I've heard, yeah. But then again, like in
People's
Ireland,
preference, really, it's.
yeah,
One experience is good.
yeah, that's
Oh,
it.
let's take this down.
yeah, that's it.
Exactly, you have your contract hours.
That's in America where they can get away with it.
Exactly, yeah, whereas
In
here you
Ireland,
have,
there is a lot more stuff there.
yeah, there's a lot more standards like here. Like, if that contract is 4 days on, 2 days off, 13, 50, that is fucking that. Like, you know, it's as simple as that. So, yeah.
4 days work.
Sweet, pretty sweet, like, you'd be fine. And like, say if you didn't have an electric bike or anything like that, how would you get there?
I have it.
Oh, okay, grand, so you have it there.
Get your hands on it.
I just meant for
But I
the
was thinking
beginning,
of, like, there's these
Charge
solar
a
ones,
flashlight, yeah, that's a recharge station, I remember that. Oh my god, I got a security
It's
badge!
such a-
Oh, I have kind
You do
of.
80 minutes. You don't even need a license.
Jeez, that's not right. Jeez, you'd be flying, like, that'd be really
Work on a
good.
solar on home, boom. In and
Oh
out
my
for minutes.
god. That'd be class.
One of the lads has it. Why not have anything?
Well, I suppose when you look,
Fingers crossed for that job.
yeah, that would work out
Sweet.
really
That would be
well.
perfect.
Yeah,
And it's 60 quid less than 3 days at home. 2 days extra.
yeah,
More relaxing time.
exactly.
And if
And
you
then
don't ever
time
want
to
to
make
do
the
it,
money
if you want to do it. The shift work as well, do shift work 15, 40 now.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
do night work for like 20 euro now.
Yeah, so you could take that at like, say, chunks if you needed it. Like, so I'll do it for a couple of weeks
Now
and then
I stuck for a bit of
back
cash and I'll do 2 night shifts.
to. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah,
Really, I earn another 7.50 per hour.
yeah. That'd be really
For
good.
10 hours, an
Like,
extra 70 quid for a night
yeah,
shift.
you do that for 2 days, like, you know, every now and again.
Hey guys, Bahar Mike here, and in today's video
Yeah,
we
yeah.
explore haunted animatronic halls as we take a look at the story of the
Really,
Freddy's
that'd
fan
be
game
very
Juliet,
Give me a list
with a
or something,
walkthrough of the main
Yeah,
story,
yeah,
a
don't think
theory
about
as to
it.
what the
Yeah.
cryptic ending is all about, and a look at the various animatronics and their designs. This is the story of FNAF
Yeah,
Genius
fingers crossed,
Explained,
like-
so sit back, relax,
You
and
definitely be a
let's
very
get
good candidate
started.
for it anyway.
You don't need any experience or that like that either, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but you even do have relevant
The
experience
setup
anyway.
for Julia's
like that.
story
Come to
isn't
warehouse
made
work.
crystal
Work.
clear
Yeah,
in the
work.
game, but it is nicely
Yeah,
summarised
that's
on
it.
the
So
game's
although you don't
download
need it,
page
if you're
over on the
somebody with it, they're gonna look at you
website
quicker than
GameJob.
somebody
Here
who
it is
doesn't. That's
suggested
all
that we are
it.
filling the shoes
And
of
if
an
you
investigator
join the
who is sent to Junior's
forklifts
restaurant
and
after a series of
machine
slip-ups
lifters.
occurred,
So I think it's
leading
like
to its
pick up,
closure.
actually picking up
The
boxes.
investigation
Oh, okay,
quickly
right, yeah.
reveals that something is
Oh,
afoot,
yeah.
and it's up to our
Yeah.
unfortunate hero
hero to uncover what that something is. Suffice to say, they probably didn't want to be dealing with haunted killer animatronics. While sleeping, the investigator, who for now I will simply refer to as the protagonist, finds himself in a dark limbo-like dimension. He quickly begins to panic, believing himself to be dead. At that moment, a small white bear emerges from the darkness and introduces himself. This is Paul Bear, and he is a passive spirit who has taken refuge in this dark place, a place he refers to as the Barrens. The Barrens are a limbo dimension between life and death. A giant brain hangs in the sky above, suggesting the Barrens are connected directly with our character's subconscious after they entered JR's to begin their investigation. There are familiar sights to be found here: Freddy, Bonnie and Chica cutouts and the puppet emerging from a prize box. We also see a mysterious arcade cabinet, though for now it is out of order. Paul Bear assures the protagonist that he can send him back to the real world whenever he wants, but asks for some help with some unfinished business in return. Paul Bear is unable to complete this task himself as he is dead. By taking care of this unfinished business, he will be able to move over to the afterlife. Paul Bear even offers to help out in our investigation, and so a partnership begins. The protagonist agreeing to meet Paul Bear once more the following night. And so the investigation at Junior's commences, with our protagonist monitoring paranormal activity at the restaurant over a security camera feed from the relative safety of the maintenance room. Paul Bear operates as a ghost in the machine, able to send us messages through our laptop, which provides survival tips as a ghostly figure moves from one animatronic to the next. This ghost girl is never named, and so it is impossible to know for sure her true identity. It seems her presence in the restaurant is the unfinished business Paul Bear was talking about, and the reason why Junior's closed down to begin with. He tells us he has been hiding from this ghost, who will take his soul if she locates him. And so, a mission to exorcise this malicious spirit commences. Each night, the player must identify which of Junior's animatronics are haunted as the ghost moves from one to the next. The way we identify a haunting is by paying close attention to our camera feed and watching for telltale signs. For example, if an animatronic enters a room and the lights begin to flicker, or a human handprint appears on the camera lens, then we know the ghost is present. However, the ghost has a few tricks up her sleeve. One of these is to inhabit the marionette, who does not appear on cameras but instead can be heard by her music box when we turn on the audio function.
Oh yeah, I was. Then I missed a call from Justin as well. I was just telling him like that I couldn't hear the phone. Never heard him out walking. And of course I had the phone on silent, as I always do. But I put it very quiet when he's
Likewise, the ghost can haunt Balloon Baby, who only appears as a glitching icon on our laptop screen. This laptop screen shows the stability of the animatronics, and when this percentage drops to 0, it results in a game over and very bad news for our hapless hero.
Let's say she might end up having to pay VAT on it.
To avoid a sticky end, we must periodically call non-haunted animatronics down the conveyor belt to the maintenance room and then repair them by installing a fresh battery pack. If we guess the incorrect animatronic when trying to locate the ghost, then the values of these stability percentages drop across the board, so correctly picking who the spirit haunts is super important. Now let's take a quick look at each of the animatronics encountered during the first 5 nights of our investigation. FNAF Juniors has a menu page accessible after completing the game with detailed character descriptions for each of the terrifying designs. These read as follows. Freddy. This iteration of Freddy is much taller and lankier than most. He's rocking his iconic top hat and bow tie, but both are outfitted with a plaid material. Bonnie. Similar to Freddy, this iteration of Bonnie is much lankier than most other designs. He's been given a pair of stylish glasses, and his colour has shifted from a dark indigo to a tealish shade of blue. Chica. This iteration of Chica is not themed around food, but rather sleeping. She dons a nightgown, a sleeping cap, and her cupcake has a binky. How adorable. This pirate-themed iteration of Foxy is withered to maintain that iconic look that everyone loves. We wanted to push that theme a little further with the inclusion of lots and lots of piercings. Balloon Baby. This iteration of Balloon Boy isn't a boy at all, he's actually a baby, hence the name. In an attempt to capture that eerie vibe, his face was made more doll-like. As always, he's holding his balloons and wearing the iconic propeller hat. The Marionette. With her lengthy, spindly body, this iteration of a marionette or puppet is more ragdoll-like. She's also been given a nose and a set of ears to add to that creepy doll look that made her so iconic in Five Nights at Freddy's 2.
That's good now about your dad.
The further into Junior's we progress, the more of its mysterious backstory is revealed. We get some of these reveals delivered through a series of old VHS tapes, which our protagonist uncovers after completing certain shifts. The first tape is labelled Episode 1. On this tape is a claymation animation. It shows Freddy walking up to a door labelled Beware the Mangle. Freddy holds an animatronic arm in his hands, which he then presents to a shadowy figure as it emerges from the room. The second VHS tape is labelled Episode 2. This time, Bonnie and Freddy sit at a table in a pizzeria. Freddy pieces together a drawing of Mangle, as if resembling it. Mangle then seems to speak to Freddy and influence him. We then see the ghost inhabiting Freddy transfer over to Bonnie. After this transfer completes, it is Bonnie who now delivers an appendage to the Mangle's door. The tape ends with a photograph of Bonnie and Freddy laughing together, this suggesting they are both now under the Mangle's control. The third tape is labelled I Know You Are With Him, this telling us that the Ghost Girl is aware of the protagonist and his partnership with Paul Bear. On this tape we see footage of Chica sound asleep and dreaming of pizza. Bonnie ominously peers over the foot of her bed, and Chica's dreams alter as the ghost transfers into her body. Chica then completes the Mangle's construction by bringing it to the final endo piece. Now before viewing the final tape, we should take a moment to catch up on the story unfolding between the protagonist and his new acquaintance Paul Bear. After relaying the information found on these tapes, Paul Bear deduces that the Mangle is a new body the ghost is trying to build for herself. This body will allow her to become far more powerful and therefore harder to stop. With the protagonist getting ready to finish his investigation, time is of the essence. The duo must stop the ghost before the Mangle finishes construction. To do this, they decide to take the ghost by surprise by sneaking into her lair located in the restaurant's basement. This brings us to the fourth and final VHS tape. This one is labelled Falling Down. Its footage is symbolic, showing us children's drawings of various animatronics at Junior's as they are tainted by a black goop. Some of these drawings are bloodied, suggesting that much like the other Fazbear establishments, murderous activity went down at Junior's. We then witness the three iconic animatronics, Bonnie, Chica and Freddy, standing with their offerings as the Mangle descends from above. These tapes symbolise how the Mangle takes pieces from each of the animatronics under the control of the ghost, leaving them in a withered state. Paul Bear knows of a secret entrance leading into the basement, and so our protagonist takes it into the heart of darkness for a final showdown with the Ghost Girl. Longtime FNAF fans will recognise this setting and the gameplay mechanics. They are lifted from Five Nights at Freddy's 2. This telling us the location of Junior's is the same location as FNAF 2, and therefore also the same location as the original restaurant, Fredbear's Family Diner. Important points to keep in mind as we move into the theory portion of this video. In this basement we encounter the withered animatronics, their parts used to create the Mangle midway through this night. As with FNAF 2, when these animatronics show up, we must hide behind the Bonnie mask. Balloon Baby can also disable our flashlight if we don't keep an eye on him, and this flashlight is needed to keep Foxy at bay as he appears down the hallway. Finally, the music box must be wound to avoid a nasty jump scare, courtesy of the puppet. After these animatronics have merged with the Mangle, she takes over the fight during Phase 2, in combination with the ghost who appears on various camera feeds in an attempt to break the cameras and our light. Mangle is able to look into the room using her owl tail, so we must hide behind the Bonnie mask whenever this occurs. If Mangle shows up down the hallway, she must be flashed just as with Foxy. To dispel the ghost, we must shine the camera light on her until she vanishes. These mechanics sound simple enough, but this is a tough fight, and balancing power is tricky. Before we head into the final section of this video and break down the ending of FNAF Juniors, let's take a quick look at each of the vivid animatronics as described in-game. Withered Freddy. During the final act of Juniors, Freddy was torn to shreds, leaving him with only one eye and a massive scar down his right eye. Withered Bonnie. Bonnie's face was torn off by Mangle and used as a mask by the player. Withered Bonnie shares almost identical features to his design in FNAF 2. Withered Chica. Chica's jaw has been torn apart and ripped open, much like her design in FNAF 2. She probably got the most damage out of the entire cast. Poor Chica. Withered Foxy. In Junior's final act, Foxy takes quite the beating. His left ear is completely torn off. However, he was already pretty withered to begin with. Withered Balloon Baby. Much like Marinette, Balloon Baby's porcelain head is completely shattered during Junior's final act. The cracks on his face reveal a creepy endoskeleton beneath. Withered Marinette. In Junior's final act, the Marinette is completely shattered by Mangle, revealing her horrifying visage. The Mangle. The Mangle is absolutely giant. Over time, the ghost haunting Junior's building built it as her final form, using different pieces of animatronic endoskeletons to create this monstrosity. During the final act, all the withered animatronics hop on a conveyor system, sacrificing themselves to finish the Mangle. After reaching 6 AM and outlasting the ghost's attempts to merge with Mangle, she instead tries to merge with the protagonist, forcing her way inside his mind to gain access to the Barons and track down Paul Bear. The ghost girl begins to strangle Paul Bear, telling him there is no more hiding beneath the costume anymore. This tells us that Paul Bear is another young child, so who could he be? Well, we are given a few clues as to the identity of this child as we journey through the game. In an earlier cutscene, Paul Bear mentions how he is very lonely, and only the other spirits keep him company. We also know that Paul Bear is of timid demeanour, asking the protagonist for help as he is too scared to face the animatronics and Ghost Girl himself. These traits line up perfectly with a very familiar Five Nights at Freddy's character, the Crying Child, commonly believed to be Evan Afton. The Crying Child died at the original Fazbear location, Fredbear's Family Diner, after being stuffed inside Freddy's animatronic mouth by his brother Michael, a prank that went very wrong. After passing away, Crying Child ended up with only the other spirits for company. It all lines up. Even the name Paul Bear is a play on the word Paul Bearer, a person who carries a coffin at a funeral. So, if Paul Bear is Crying Child, then who is the Ghost Girl? Well, this is a little harder to pin down. It seems most likely that she is meant to be Cassidy. This is because Cassidy was the most vicious of all the child victims, and would have had a reason to come after Crying Child, as he was the son of her murderer, William Afton, the man who robbed her of her life. The ghost tells Paul Bear she will destroy him and then his little puppet, but before the conversation concludes, she is stabbed in the back by the protagonist. At this point, the story abruptly ends, and the following text plays out. After 5 years, JR's would later reopen. It would go over heavy rebranding, as some still had a somewhat negative impression of the company. Fazbear Entertainment is now more committed than ever to family fun and, above all, safety. They spent a small fortune on these new animatronics. Anyway, Jeremy, when do you think you can start? This text seems to be coming from a manager at the newly refurbished Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. New animatronics are mentioned, these referencing the friendly redesigned toy animatronics from FNAF 2. Essentially, this dialogue is a setup for the second game in the FNAF franchise, and the conversation had between management and new employee Jeremy Fitzgerald, the central protagonist of that game. This entire time, Juniors has been the prequel story to FNAF 2, bridging the gap between the events of Five Nights at Freddy's 4, where Crying Child's demise took place, the murders of William Afton, which led to the birth of Vengeful Spirits Cassidy, and finally the reopening of a restaurant whereby Jeremy accepted his position of night guard. Juniors explains the state of the withered animatronics, the true origin of the mangle, and tells the prequel story many have asked series creator Scott Cawthon for. It's certainly an interesting take on the lore, and a fantastic fan game to boot. The only question remaining is, were we playing as Jeremy the entire time? Was Jeremy the unnamed protagonist, now returning to take a job as a night guard to keep Cassidy in check and prevent disaster from striking once again? I'll leave you to come to your own conclusions on that one.
Yeah, pretty much.
One final secret you discover comes when we return to the main menu and click continue. We now unlock free roam mode, whereby we can explore the barrens and collect up 4 floating prize boxes. These unlock a cryptic looking map on the title screen made up from 4 torn pages. They appear to mark out a level layout. Head back into the barrens and we can finally access that previously out of order arcade cabinet and play the Bonnie themed minigame Carrot Craze. Using the map we can locate an area within this level that unlocks a secret message from Paul Bear. The message reads, "Hey buddy, it's me Paul Bear. If you ever need me for an investigation or whatever, just call me. See you soon." This message suggests that Paul Bear's fate was a happy one, and by extension the child spirit within that suit ended up escaping the ghost, ready to be called upon should ever the occasion arise. And with that we come to the end of this look at the story and animatronics of FNAF Juniors Explained. I hope you found this video both entertaining and informative, and if you did, remember to leave a like, comments down below, and of course subscribe for more horror related content. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next video.